We're here today in Charlie Foley's pub on New Street, Killarney, oldest pub in Killarney, and I'd like to acknowledge before we start the very first of Celtic Steps, the podcast, a series of podcasts with the original members of the band of Celtic Steps, who started day one back in 2012. I'd like to thank Colin Foley, Eileen, of course, his mom and family, for letting us have this beautiful space and what we hope will be a warm, informative, engaging series of chats, I guess. Beautiful music as always, Edward Looney. Thanks for coming in and thanks for opening our very first podcast, Celtic Steps, the podcast on the flute. And nice to see you.
You too?
Yeah. We're here. So look, we'll cheers to...
Cheers.
Cheers. Stand to what? Edward, we're going to go back in time a little bit because obviously we've worked together for a number of years, going on 15 now. But through a musical capacity, can you tell us how you got into music? What was your first instrument and how it maybe progressed through the very early days?
Mm-hmm. I suppose at home, my parents, neither of them played music at all, so it skipped a generation there, I guess. But my grandparents would have played, but I never actually heard them playing. So I suppose it was there somewhere just for it to come out. So I kind of wanted to start from an early age myself, just kind of, I remember, I suppose, picking up a tin whistle or getting a tin whistle for Christmas initially, and then it was, I had an old melodeon belonged to my grandfather on my mother's side, and we just gave that a go in the local cultus classes. Yeah. And started with the melodeon, I suppose, and onto the accordion, the whistle. So those two or three together is how I kind of got into it really initially, But yeah, it was, I suppose, like I said, none of my parents played at home. So it was kind of mainly, I suppose, me just developing an interest from, I'm not sure really, just kind of starting off and hearing other things around me. And I always had an interest in kind of different rhythms and stuff. And my parents would have told me it wouldn't have been uncommon for me to find pots and pans on the floor with wooden spoons, kind of making my own little rhythms from a young age,
Wow. Okay. Yeah, look, it's you obviously, and people might know that you have played a lot of instruments, and that makes sense now with your interest in the rhythms. And I probably know of upwards towards 10 instruments that you play, which gives you a huge, I suppose, not alone variety, but it keeps the interest peaked. But when you were younger, you obviously, through the organisation that does nurture that talent called us Killorglin, you went to classes, and I suppose competitions were a natural progression then.
They were. Yeah, that's the thing. I suppose I suppose when I started maybe about 7, so by the time I was maybe about 10, I was ready for the flaciols, and this is a different pressure comes with that then, but it's a good pressure too. I suppose it's nice to have a target to aim for each summer to, you're basically, I suppose, practicing a couple of pieces and revising them and adding little bits of ornamentation as you go along. But it does add pressure, but I said, it's a good pressure, and it helps you can adapt those things to new types of music you learn then as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, and it can be an easy target to take pot shots at, but the hundreds of thousands of young people around the world learning music, you do obviously have to have some benchmark if you want to, keep practicing and improve. And for competition with its flaws, no more than exams, it is necessary, isn't it, to drive you on?
Yeah, it is. It does develop your style and bring you along. There's no doubt about it, because you hear yourself back, or back when I was doing it, you speed out, record yourself, and the odd time you might record other people as well. And you go home, listen back to you're kind of you're assessing your own performance, I suppose, and see how you can make it better for the next time. Or see how you can be better than the other person.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, you're aging yourself.
Yeah.
The instruments, you mentioned the melodeon, it became accordion playing. Tin whistle, of course, the easiest instrument to bring along with you. But you did go through a multi-range of instruments and still have a massive interest in those. You also, of course, and I know we'll be meeting him later on, formed a band or a group with Morgan, our piano player, many years, and your own now wife, Laura, a very accomplished musician and singer. That's another kind of an avenue, an interesting or enjoyable avenue.
He was, yeah. We used to do a lot of weddings and stuff, and church music, and functions and stuff, and nicer kind of intimate gigs. So that was really nice too. And we liked kind of arranging different pieces of music. And I suppose because myself and Laura know each other really well, we were good at kind of harmonizing bits of music, and that probably comes from a time when we were both like singing when we were younger as well. Like we both helped out with choirs and all stuff at home, and I obviously do in school. But I suppose when I was in secondary school, I suppose I would have been in like it was an Irish youth choir basically, like, and we would have performed pieces like Carmina Burana and things like, and so you're kind of listening to the overall sound of the harmonies and stuff, and I think that brought out my interest in later years and with the low whistle and stuff, with the harmonies and pushing the boundaries and other bit when it comes to trad music, like,
Yeah, that low whistle is a very interesting instrument and wasn't very common, I would have thought, but lots of it around now. I mean, we're only just back. We're going to jump ahead slightly. We're only just back from tour of Holland, and because your work commitments as a school teacher here in Killarney, you were able to do some concerts with us, and then Ali Levac from Glasgow came here, but both playing that amazing instrument, the low whistle. Can you explain the difference between it and the flute or the tin whistle?
I mean, it is, you're right, it has become more popular in recent years now as well. I suppose the tin whistle is a real, it's really light blowing, like, and even the flute as well. It's a different technique to the low whistle again. So the three different instruments have three different techniques. But the low whistle is definitely one of my favorites, I suppose. And those particular type of ones, and I know Ali plays them as well, they're Colin Goldie whistles. He's based in Germany now, and he's, you can ring him up and tell him what you want, and he can adapt him whatever you want, if it's light blowing, medium blowing, hard blowing. So like I have like medium blowing low whistles there, so it allows me to really push the notes really strong, like without you get the feeling across the low whistle without kind of being, with the tin whistle you have to be it's a really light instrument, like, so if you overblow, like, you can't get as much, I would say, nearly feeling as much across the low whistle.
Just on finishing, I suppose, those low whistles. I mean, we've had amazing players. You talk about it has become more common. Matt Bashford, a fine low whistle player. Brian McKay came in. Yourself, Ali, we've two young Kennedys now are experimenting with it, and it adds a different, well, I suppose, an additional melody for us in the show, but for backing songs and stuff, it does have a really
for the songs, it's really nice, and the songs, like, it's not in your face by any means, and you can do beautiful harmonies in the background that can really add to the overall singing, like, so it's really nice, like,
I segued a bit there. We were at young Edward Looney, and you were playing. You did compete and win a lot of All-Irelands. I know it's not something you ever banner or put up, but in many instruments. That was up until maybe
probably first year senior in the class was over 18 until I was 19, I suppose. I think the last one was Letterkenny, whatever that year that was. I can't even remember. 2 years back now.
And in all of the many instruments.
Yeah, the first one actually I remember was 1997. I suppose it was 11 then, and that was in Ballina for 2 years, and then I finished in Letterkenny, and I can't even remember. But I suppose the tin whistle and flutes and mouth organ and accordion would have been the main ones for the flat, I suppose.
And are you doing a bit of teaching at the moment, or for time? I know you're doing.
Yeah, like, I suppose my own kids have started to play now as well. So we have two girls at home, and Sive and Shun, that are 10 and 7. They both play fiddle and piano and harp and whistle. So I suppose they're lucky. I suppose they have, but I didn't have. I suppose my parents were playing, but they're lucky that myself and Laura both play at home. So they're hearing it every day at home. So it's definitely helping them, like, and it's helped with learning by ear and stuff. It's just natural,
of course. Yeah,
get up every day and play. So. But
it's well, you have balance to it, I guess. I mean, you have, an addition to your home, I know, in Ballavorney, you built a music room stroke studio.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I suppose it was kind
of ambition.
It is, yeah. Especially when myself and Laura were both musical backgrounds. If it only been me, I guess we've a bit of difference. But it's nice. I suppose it's just nice to have a space like that we can go and play. It's basically soundproof, I suppose, and just record music. For no particular reason, really, recording things, but I do have a lot of stuff, like random, like voice notes, like on my phone, like there will be of recordings, like, and I just thought, what, it might be nice to have something more proper.
Okay.
And just get into the whole editing side of it a bit myself and develop it a bit further like that.
We might see Edward Looney, the album, coming up at some stage. Yeah, we'll look forward to that.
You might, yeah.
Your kids involved in music and dancing as well, I think.
They're involved in dancing now, so we're just hitting the fishes now. We're just starting that journey now as well. Yeah.
God help us. I'm not allowed to say this on camera, but oh my God, the fishes are their own acquired tastes. But again, if a child has talent, you have to.
You don't want to hold them back, like,
Yeah, you do not.
Yeah.
We met, I guess, I don't think we had met prior to Celtic Steps starting back in 2012. You came in as an accordion player. That's all I really knew.
Yeah.
And we kicked off, and it's been nearly 15 years later, and you play accordion for us. You play a lot of flutes, low whistles, and tin whistles for us now as well. You used to play bodhrán. You've kind of handed that over to the students of bodhráning now, and we just about get by. But it's been a great journey. We've had some great fun, and based in Killarney mostly for you.
It is, and like I keep saying to people, and even the dancers coming in now, that we're so lucky that it's in Killarney for me or for us that we live around here. That it's great to have an outlet like that we can go and perform every night to an audience, and and it's a nice feeling when you walk out there and there's 500 people looking at you, like, and you're kind of like, wow, like you. I mean, we're lucky we don't have to travel too far for it, like,
Yeah. Well, you do have to travel a bit. You have to travel further than me because I cycle to work this year. But you're coming from school. I mean, obviously. April, May, June can be tight enough for you till you get the summer holidays from primary school.
Yeah.
You're going back to Ballavourney from Loretto and then back at night time. That's a heavy schedule with not much room.
Yeah. Two journeys to Killarney during the day, like, to get home to bring them to dancing or music classes and back to work. Feed them.
And feed them. Basics, yeah.
Yeah. But it's a great feeling coming back over the county bones again, knowing you're going to perform what you love doing, like, and most nights walking out to a full audience, really, like,
Yeah, it is. It has been great fun. Yeah. You're playing. Are you doing some gigging in Ballavourney or around it from time every time?
Not particularly like this. We did something last year, right? Myself and Morgan and Jim Murray above in Ballavourney, the only cultura, and we meant to kind of develop it further and add more dates, but we might get around to it again.
Two class musicians. Yeah. Morgan. Jimmy's a great player, isn't he?
Oh,
really, some nice music as well.
Yeah. But like, I mean, we've started to help out now in the cultist branch at home because our own girls are playing there, so we've kind of found ourselves, the Friday nights are kind of taken over with that, but it's nice to help out with different music groups and pass it on, I guess,
Could I ask you about musical influences? I mean, in Kerry, they use that cliche, the rich tapestry, but it's very, very true. I mean, I was lucky enough, I suppose, myself to have spent quite a bit of time in the company of Johnny Leary and Jimmy Doyle and the great teachers of the time. I mean, for my time, not going back as far, obviously, as Padraig O'Keefe and Nicky and Anne would have been a mainstay. Had you musical influences or people even from the Kerry area that you were looking at saying, I'd like to be able to play like that? Or?
Yeah, I suppose you mentioned Nicky and Anne McCall there. They would have been my first music teachers, and they had a bank of tunes and names and where they would come from, so that really helps develop an understanding of the whole Kerry side of music, or Sliabh Luachra music, I suppose, in general. Like, and I still have those books at home now today with all the tunes they gave me and passing them on to other people. Like, and if you're ever stuck for a name of a tune, like,
it's there.
Yeah, big time, yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, moving further, I feel like different influences that I would have had over the years, I suppose, like for the accordion, like there's so many, like you could name, like Dermot Byrne, fantastic accordion player, nice style. I mean, you mentioned the low whistles there, like Brian Finnegan, obviously, like there's so many like different people, flute players. I mean, I would have gone to Woody Clancy classes in Miltown Malby, I suppose, as well, when I was 15, 16, 17, and learn lots of techniques there and lots of tunes and just meet loads of people there, and
Yeah, and it's become one of the biggest festivals of Irish music now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about trying to get up there with years. We seem to be always busy working, and one of these days we'll just get the tent and go up and have a bit of fun there.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose we're in the off season now. We're entering season, I think it's 15 with Celtic Steps, and we're back into rehearsal in the next couple of weeks. So how do you feel about launching into another couple of 100 nights?
Good, excited. It's always exciting to get going again, and just to get the routine of coming to Killarney a few times a day and start out drives and different things like that. But I always look forward to starting off, and I suppose you look forward to finishing up at the end of the season as well then, but no, it's definitely a good buzz to get going when you get to the end of March. It's around the corner and raring to go again.
Yeah, and getting back to meet the gang
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
And I suppose we're always trying to improve, and you can hit a nice groove or rhythm, but like every day is a learning day. And I think we do have a lot of conversations about it could be something very simple at sound check, and I think I always think that it's nice to have that openness where you can say, will we try this and see what happens, and there's no offense if we ditch it.
Yeah, we know each other long enough now that it's okay to say it, just like have a normal conversation about somebody or something, like, just try this, try that. And like I've often listened back to shows if I was walking or running or something, or in the car, just listening back, just to not just my own performance, but the overall performance, and see like where can we make that a little bit better, add some harmonies, or
Yeah, sure.
all the time looking to develop it further, I suppose, and not being comfortable where you are, just to keep pushing it.
Yeah. Talking of pushing it, you've taken running to a fairly serious level. Well, I've seen you running. I know you run quite a lot. It obviously helps with fitness, and you need to be fit nowadays to with a couple of jobs and work, etc. And especially if you're blowing those things, you've run regularly, don't you? I know you ran on tour this year most mornings.
I would, yeah, I would. It's a kind of almost like it's time to get away from everything else and tune out everything else except music. Probably I do listen to my own music, or off on the show, like if I'm running back, or just podcasts or something. Just take your mind off things and just keep it fresh, and it's good for the head, good for the body.
Yeah, it is. There's no doubt about it. I envy you. Right, my knees and shins certainly won't take running, so keep going as long as you can. It's really, really good. I remember a story we shared. I guess it was probably over something like this one night. We both have something in common where sleep is a problem for us. We're a little bit insomniac.
Yeah.
And you had a unique solution one time after moving to Bellavorn. I think they say you should get up if you can't sleep, and do something. But you took it to a new level and went running. And I think after 3 or 4 nights of running around the streets at 3 o'clock in the morning, you realised they were going to lock you up if anyone saw you. That is true.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, true. Yeah, I have done that. Yeah. So now, I just tend to kind of maybe go downstairs and listen to some music, or maybe write some new music, maybe. But
we've never come up with a solution to it. No, maybe just the way you're made up. There's nothing we can do. I mean, you try and you read about it, and
I've tried different things now, but Laura's always sending me things. You try this, you try. Probably need to look into it again.
Yeah.
But it catches up after a few weeks of bad sleep, I suppose. So I think the running does help keep you fresh at the same time, like, and maybe I suppose does try to wear you out a little bit so you can get some sleep and start again.
So it's probably time for another piece of music now. I know you wrote this next piece, and you're going to play on the whistle, and we'd like to bring in a great friend of ours who's going to accompany you in this. Really looking forward to this. We can talk about it after. Sean Kelleher, welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
Not too bad.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I don't need to introduce the two of you, and look, let's hear what you got. Well, Anava.
Yep.
That's a lovely duet. In his absence now, Sean Kelleher has become a great friend of ours, a fantastic backing musician. I don't probably know anybody who works as hard at his music, and hope to get him in the chair one of these days. But beautiful whistle playing, and that has become, I think, Celtic Steps running nightly, and you playing the tin whistle. There's a lot of tin whistles all over the world now in far-flung places, and whether they're playing them or not, we hope they are. It certainly is. What's next for Edward Looney? In where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Have you projects that you want to complete? And where are you going to take yourself from here?
Yeah, I guess just, I suppose I'd like to record maybe some more music myself at home and with Laura, and probably my own kids at home as well. It would be something that I'd have in mind, all right, in a couple of years to come. Seeing as I have the nice space, we're lucky enough we have a space at home to do that now. And just write some new tunes and record some music together, and keep adding new things to the show, I guess, and developing it further and keep pushing the boundaries. That's it really, I suppose, and just passing on, I suppose, what I have learned over the years onto my own kids and onto other people, and onto other musical classes, and passing on all that knowledge onto them so they can, because we're only passing through, basically, like you say yourself in the show, like
we're only guardians. That's it, yeah. And a legacy is very, very good, and for your family. So look, the best of luck to your family, to you and your musical endeavours. Thanks for coming in. This was the very first Celtic Steps, the podcast. Edward Looney, musician, gentleman, your friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.